Now, but yeah, it's my duty to tell you that with this stand-up, I'm not going to hurt anyone's sentiments, right? I can do it in Hindi, probably. Okay, so this is the disclaimer, right? Now we can start. So they say that a good stand-up comedian is the one who takes the jokes on himself and doesn't hurt anyone, right? So I just want to tell you that I'm not a good stand-up comedian. Now, stand-up is a kind of a thing. You don't have to go somewhere and you just get the ideas, right? So last time when me and Mike, we went to the Nini's kitchen and we talked about good stuff. And when we were leaving, and Mike was sitting beside me and he saw some guys coming in one way, right? So Mike was telling that, don't you think these guys are breaking the rules? And I was like, yeah. Okay, so I would give you more information about Indian roads and Indian traffic, right? That you have you have already experienced. So when we talk about roads, okay, in other countries like in US, we go to the to the right side of the road, right? In India, the answer is
Left side.
no, both. Yeah. You start with the left, okay, unless the space is not occupied, right? If it is so, then you go to the right, unless it is again unoccupied, and then you keep moving it, right, to the available gap. So it's like a game of chess, you can say. In other countries, we use roads to go, here and there. But in India, the roads are actually here and there. Right? You don't know where you will go, right? You don't know where it will lead you. One day, I was traveling in a village, because in cities we have signboards, right? In villages, some villages they are not. Okay. So one day I was, traveling in a village road, and I kept driving, and after some time I saw some policemen. Okay. So they said that, show me your documents. Okay. And I showed them my license. They said, no, your visa. And I was like, what? And they said, from which country are you? And I said, in which country I am right now? And they said, Pakistan, don't you know? I just shouted, Allahu Akbar, when they started running here. And then I again shouted, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. They came, okay, this guy is safe, he's from India. So, these are just jokes. I never went to Pakistan. Okay, now when we talk about Indian roads, how can we forget potholes, right? They are actually the natural speed breakers, right? There are different characters of potholes. Sometimes when we see a flat road, we feel nervous, right? Because how would we drive? There are no speed breakers. Okay? And sometimes we feel that we are playing a Mario game. And they have different characters actually, right? A small potholes, they give you feeling that they are just tickling your tires, right? The big one are like Bollywood or Hollywood villain. Okay. And the potholes are actually, the government is saying to you, congratulations, you have got one vehicle inspection for free. Okay. So apart from these potholes and all these things, right, I just want to draw your attention, towards the Indian traffic, right? Especially, it is very, 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 your taste of patience drive, especially in India, right? The traffic jams and the honkings, okay? And we use it, normally. People don't offend, they don't offend here when you honk, right? If you are passing by someone, you can give a small honk, like, bump, and just passing by, okay? If you need attention, right, the bigger one, it means that, yes, you give me attention, I have a big vehicle, right? And if you are impatient, it's like, so these are certain things about Indian roads, Indian traffics, and the auto rickshaw walas. How can we forget them also, right? They are the real superheroes. When they drive, there are two things in the world you don't know where they will go. First, tornado, and another one, auto rickshaw. Right? When you sit in auto rickshaw, Luan was saying it is tuk-tuk. Okay? So when you sit in tuk-tuk, they start talking about their families, about different people, right? Sometimes you feel so emotional, right? And instead of 10 rupees, you give 500, right? These are real superheroes of Indian traffic. And while we are talking about superheroes, right? How can we forget our parents, especially Indian parents, right? Indian parents are Physically they are really good, okay, caring, right? Sometimes dramatic, okay. Means one day I left WhatsApp group and my mother was like, "Today you are leaving the WhatsApp group. Tomorrow you will leave your parents." And I was like, "What?" That's so dramatic. When I was a kid, my mom used to tell me that you should eat the whole plate. I was like, "No, whatever is there in the plate, you should eat that." Because there is a starvation in Africa. Okay. So I started eating. I used to eat, whole plate. And later when I grew up, I just realized that how have I helped the Africans? I just got over it. But yeah, I was really happy for them. Whenever, if I ever been to Africa, right? And they will see my belly. I would be like, I did it for you. So moms are really, they are funny characters sometimes, when they say, especially the Indian moms, when they say, "Come here, I won't hit you," it's a trap. I say, abort the mission. Right? So moms are like this only, but they are really caring. Okay. When I was little, I didn't care what I wore, right? I just, my parents used to choose the dress for me, okay? And now, when I look back at the pictures, I figure out that my parents also didn't care. So it's embarrassing sometimes. Now, moving towards Indian dads, okay? So Indian dads, again, they are also funny characters sometimes, right? They won't find it, offensive if you copy their signature. Right? One day I went to my home and I said my dad that I want your signature here. My principal has asked for it, and he did it. After 2 or 3 days again I went. He was quite irritated, but still he said, "Okay, give me." Again he did. After 2 or 3 days, I was with my notebook and pen. My father was like, and I was, really afraid because this is the third time, right? So my father said, "Come here, I won't hit you." But it's a father, so I could, yeah, I could trust. So I went, he did a signature, and he said me that, "See, I do like this." Okay. And from that day, I started doing it everywhere. On every lesson diary, principal is saying, your son is not doing homework. Okay, R.C. Lawat. That was the signature of my father, right? Anywhere, my friends were saying that, we are afraid to go to home. Like, "Give me your diary, R.C. Lawat. Go." Okay? So this happened, frequently. So one day, my school teacher, she called my dad that, your son is doing something. So on that day, when I came home, okay, my dad was like this, posing like a superhero. He said that, "Show me your love." I was like, "Okay, see." He opened the first page, okay, and there was nothing. So the deception actually worked. But when he opened the last page, okay, all my black words were there. Right? R.C. Lawat, R.C. Lawat, R.C. Lawat, R.C. Lawat. I love Snigdha. R.C. Lawat, R.C. Lawat, R.C. Lawat. The physics professor is idiot. R.C. Lawat, R.C. Lawat. And my dad was like, "See what I did." Started hitting me. "This is a fatal offense." And I said, "First, tell me the meaning of fatal offense." Right? And he translated it, okay, and he said that God is watching. I said, "It's a very low budget translation." Right? So he said that, God is watching, you should not do that, right? And he started hitting me, okay? Here, there, here, there, here, there, here, there, right? And my dad had 2 hands, okay? But simultaneously, I'm getting hit at 3 points. Okay? Quantum father. Right? So he started hitting me. My brother was, the little brother was, roaming here, and I started hitting him also. Yeah, this Indian parents, right? When they start hitting you, your brothers or sister would probably do their work silently. Yeah? I don't want to go into that mess. So my father started hitting me, and he said that, God is watching. And I was like, if God is really watching, right? This is the smallest crime the kid can do, right? The kid has many dark sides. God might be having hard times. Okay. So my dad caught me and he was like, he probably would ask some, unusual questions. So he went to the office. Okay. Now he went to the office and I was there. I was crying. And then the gas cylinder guy came because the gas cylinder at home was empty. Right? The guy came and he told my mother that do your signature. My mother was doing signature. I said no, your husband's signature. Right? I was smiling in the corner. The valuation of my startup started increasing. So I was sitting there. My mom told me that do signature of your father. And I was like, no, God is watching. So she told me, no, do this. I said, no, call your husband. So she called my dad, okay. He is not doing signature, right? So my dad called me again and he said, I want you to, I said, no, say sorry first. Okay? Because finally I think you need a man, right? Okay, sorry. Now do the signature. I said, God is watching. And he was like, see, there is no God word, right? Do your signature. I was like, there is no God word? You just beat the crap out of me. There is no God word? What? He said, no, do your signature. I said, no. And he said, I will slap you. So a 10-year boy, has to decide between slap and God. Okay. So I started the risk analysis, right? Because slap hurts. God doesn't. Now, slap has the probability of 200%. God 50-50. And overall I can prove that slap exists. So I did the signature, okay? And after some years I just looted his property, okay? No. I'm just joking. The signature of my father in the bank was different, right? So this is the kind of things about parents, right? And they, I just also want to say that they have some common dialogues, right? The most common dialogue is that when I was your age, when we were your age. Actually, they have done everything when they were our age. One day my father was like, when I was your age, and I was like, stop. The same thing you said to the older brother 2 days back. Okay, he said that, yeah, I did it multiple times. Okay. So, they are like, when I was your age, we used to buy all the groceries only with 20 rupees. And I was like, yes. There were no CCTV cameras. They're like, when I was your age, we used to walk for 15 miles. After that, there was a river. So we used to sit on a crocodile. After 15 miles again, there was an Everest, right? Bigger than Mount Everest. We used to climb and then we used to study. I'm like, okay. And I didn't feel sorry for him because I know he could do. But I was feeling sorry about the professors, right? Who would walk and then go to the river and teach over there. And still the result was like this. So, I was really feeling sorry for them. They always say that when we were your age, right, we used to study under night light, street light. Where were you going in the sunlight? Also, right? You just want to study under street light just to tell your kids when they grow up. Okay. So this is the one dialogue, and the another one is, before I die, right? My parents were like, and everyone's parents, right? I want to see you in the high school before I die. I want to see you in, college, and I want you to be graduated before I die. I want to see your son. No, but before do marriage, we are in India. I want to see your marriage before I die. Okay? Marriage. I want to see your son before I die. And then they, stimulate their voice, like, so with emotion. I want to see like this before we die. And then they are like, we want to see your son. And short, stop. I also wanted to see, FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar. You didn't let me do that. So, these are some common dialogues, and they actually, the parents and the old, people, they actually have, therapies, right? When doesn't matter whatever is being with you, they will say that just sleep for 2-3 hours and you will be okay. Right? One day I went to my mom and I was like, I'm feeling sick. Just sleep for 2-3 hours and you'll be okay. After 2-3 days, I again went. I feel I'm having some some injury in my leg. Just sleep for 2-3 hours and you'll be okay. After 2-3 days, mom, I have insomnia. Just to sleep 2-3 hours. You'll be okay. So they have this trick. If you are not feeling well, you should sleep. Okay, you should get restarted. Same with the electronic things. Okay, if your cell phone is not working, they will just restart it, and somehow it will start working again. You don't know, right? So one day I went to my uncle and I was like, this phone is not working, and he said that you just restart it, and I was like, I know the trick. I did it, okay, and it's still not working. So he said, give it to me. Put the back cover, took out the battery, started working. They're always one step ahead. I said, how did you do that? And he said, we did it with humans too. And till date, I don't have that confidence to ask him, which part you take out and this is the thing about Indian, parents and old people. But yeah, they are funny, they are good, right? They, figure out our fake friends before we do. But eventually get cheated by their own brothers or sisters with properties, right? They're like this. But they're caring, right? They care, till we are, 18, 20, 30s, 50s, right? Our parents are with us, right? So a huge round of applause for parents. Apart from that, we discussed all these things, right, Mike, in this kitchen regarding our, relationships and all. And one thing we discussed before one day, about IPL. Right? So I want to draw some attention there. Cricket. We know that cricket is a religion in India, right? And there is this term called, fantasy IPL, Indian Premier League, right? Before some years, we used to watch the cricket emotionally, right? But right now, it's a business. We all know this, right? There is a fantasy app called Dream 11. Yes. So one day, I was passing by my friend, and he was like, "Go Murli Vijay, go! You are my captain." And I was like, "BCCI never appointed Murli Vijay as a captain." So I said, "Okay, he's supporting an Indian player. Doesn't matter." After 2 days, when I again passed by him, he was like, "Hey, go Ben Stokes, go, you are my captain." And I was like, "What? Ben Stokes is our captain?" He said, "No, he's my captain in Dream 11. I'm like, "What?" And he said, "Yes, I'll make money if he'll score good." I say that what amount of money you will get? He said 60 rupees, from 50 to 60. I gave him $100, right? Yeah, just support Indian players. And apart from this, there are superstitions regarding cricket, right? Many people, one of the biggest superstars in India, he thinks that if he will watch the cricket match live, India will lose, right? There are many superstitions, right? So one day, I went to my friend's home. He was sitting on the sofa, okay? And I said, just, come out, we'll hang out. And he was like, "No, I cannot. I'm just here. I cannot stand up." Well, why? They said that, "See, if I'll get up, India will lose a wicket." I mean, what? Yeah, seriously, if I'll get up, I said, just come. He said, "No, I'm holding my peace since 2 hours." Right? So, it doesn't matter, there are 11 guys, they are working for years, right? Doesn't matter if these guys will not hold his peace, India will lose. So, there are many superstitions too, but yeah, as an Indian, we love our game, right? Cricket. So, this was all the stuff, right? These were all the stuff which I was talking about. Thank you for having me.